Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Boone. In a recent video, I asked you guys if you had any suggestions for a new video for me to do, for things for me to talk about, and the YouTube user Henlo Sab Wilson suggested that I should talk about LGBT representation in cartoons, which I think is a fantastic idea, and honestly, I'm surprised that I had not done it or thought of it yet. So today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 personal favorite instances of LGBT representation in cartoons. First, I'd like to give a couple disclaimers. For one, this is a very personal opinion. It's not what I think necessarily are objectively the best representations of the LGBT community in cartoons. It's more just what's resonated with me personally and my favorite instances of it. So that's one. 2 is there will be a variety of spoilers throughout this list from minor to major. So if you see a show pop up that you have not watched all the way through, I would recommend skipping to the next one. So yeah, you have been warned. Clarence has a very special place in my heart. I got really into this show the summer that I came out, and it was just very important to me at the time, I think, and I think it was possibly one of, if not the first representation of LGBT people in cartoons that I ever saw. And the character Jeff's parents are lesbians. It's not something that's like shown so much in the cartoon. It's not a huge part of it, but whenever we see his household, we see them, and I just thought it was so cool at the time. It blew my mind, and as someone who had just recently come out as trans and thus came out also as a lesbian, it meant so much for me, and it gave me hope, and it was just like such a cute couple. That show is really funny. I haven't watched it in a while, but I think it's a wonderful show, and at the time for me, seeing that just meant so much, so that solidifies its spot as number 5 on my list. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you are probably kind of surprised that this show isn't higher on my list, and I get it, and don't get me wrong, I love Steven Universe. I think that Rebecca Sugar and her team did a lot of really great things for the LGBT community, and this is a big step for Cartoon Network. It was super awesome. I think for me, the reason why other shows beat it out was just because the gems were very explicitly not human, and they didn't necessarily have a gender. There was all kind of monogender, and so that inclusion felt a little bit less grounded to humanity in terms of lesbianism in gay relationships in other shows. With that being said, they them pronouns were used for Stevani, and every relationship was obviously a lesbian relationship pretty much. So it was very cool to see. And Garnet is like one of my all-time favorite fictional characters. I think she's absolutely incredible. Ruby and Sapphire's relationship just melts my heart. It's so fantastic. I love them as characters, and the reveal of them being Garnet was... I know a lot of people saw it coming. I admittedly did not. It blew my mind. And it's just so cute. So, even though that show wasn't necessarily my example or my idea of a perfect example of LGBT representation, it was one of my favorite shows for a long time. I still really love it, and I think that it's just gonna always be something that I really enjoy looking back on, especially because of how much I love Garnet. So this BMO hat that you see on my head, I wore this probably for 2 years straight when I got it. I think it was my 11th birthday. Needless to say, Adventure Time was a very important show for me. It was I started watching it when I was 8 years old, and I've seen the entire series, so I finished it when I was 16, almost 17. So that was 8 years of my life of this incredible show that I love so much. It was my favorite show at the time and is still one of my favorite cartoons of all time. It was not a show that necessarily showed LGBT representation throughout the entire thing, which is why it's not number 1. However, Marceline and Bubblegum are both characters that I love very much, and they hinted at that relationship throughout the entire series. And when it was revealed in the last episode where they kiss, and this huge major headcanon that people had been talking about on Tumblr and Twitter for all those years, that there was tons of fan art for, everyone was into the idea. When that was made actually canon and solidified on their last episode. It felt like such a huge thing. The two characters kissed on screen. It was incredible. I mean, fans would ask the voice actors at panels for so long, is it canon? What do you think about Bubbling? It's a very cute relationship. I love it very much. Marceline is probably my favorite character in the whole show. And so I just had to put that on there. It was like, I was like crying tears of joy when that episode came out. It was incredible and such a dramatic and exciting and wonderful way to end the series. So shout outs to Adventure Time. I know that for a lot of people I specifically know even, this show would absolutely be number one. I mean, the lesbians of the internet freaked out when this episode came out in the final season, and so did I. I mean, I had it spoiled for me before I watched it, so I wasn't shocked, but it was huge. It was very, very, very beautifully done. The entire show is filled with casual LGBT representation, so it's already beautifully done throughout the series. And then, you know, we had Double Trouble as a non-binary character. It's, again, I'd like to see more human non-binary people, but still it's better than nothing. I know at least non-binary people, like friends of mine, have said they enjoyed Double Trouble a lot. So seems like a win to me. Noelle Stevenson, the creator of the show, is also a non-binary lesbian, which is pretty fantastic. But man, the final episode when Adora and Catra kiss and say that they love each other, I mean, it was just unbelievable. I've never seen that much passion put into two characters in a gay relationship. I guess it wasn't exactly a relationship yet, but in this gay romance, that much passion and emotion put into that scene was just incredible. I mean, the tension between them was built up throughout the entire series and was done so well. And when that moment hit, I think we all collectively lost our minds. And it was just, I feel like it just meant so much. We don't see that. We don't see that much importance and significance put into the main character's gay relationship, gay love, and end in a happy way. That doesn't happen in movies and films and TV shows very much at all. And to see that happen in a kid's show, it just felt so beautiful and so important and so amazing. And I feel like I need to personally thank Noelle Stevenson. So that show was amazing. And it was, yeah, it meant a lot. I feel like this show really flew under the radar, which is such a shame because it's an amazing show. And if you haven't seen Kipo, please, please, please give it a watch if you can. There's 2 seasons now. It's on Netflix. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Please watch it. This one moment, though, my goodness, it meant so much to me. And I think it really should not be overlooked the way I feel like it has been. In the first season, the main character Kipo confesses her crush to another primary character, Benson, to which he responds that he's gay. And this moment is not like a lot of other moments in cartoons where we see, like, you know, a girl holds hands with another girl, or there's like more of a subtle suggestion that they're gay, or it's like it's obvious, it's explicit, but it's not actually stated. In this moment, Benson actually he actually says the words, "I'm gay," which, my goodness, like, that actually shocked me. It was so powerful. I don't think I've ever seen a character in a cartoon say the words, "I'm gay." It's especially not in a kid's cartoon. It's probably happened in an adult cartoon at some point or another. But this show is rated TVY7, and this main character just says, "I'm gay," and it's a casual thing. He's just into guys, so he's not into Kipo, and that's that. And they move on from that, and it's not ignored. In the second season, he has a crush on a guy, but it's like doesn't take as the main part of his character. He's not a stereotype, but it's also not ignored either. It's not swept under the rug. This is a part of who he is. That's his sexuality. They're open about it. He says, "I'm gay," and then he still gets to be badass and awesome and funny in all these other ways. And it was just such a beautiful way to handle that and to put that in there, in my opinion. And I feel like just the fact that this is on a show made specifically for kids, rated TVY7, it's just a marker of how far we've come, and it meant so much. And just because I personally love the show very, very much, that also gives it extra points in being so high. But my goodness, I've said that so many times now. It's my new catchphrase. If you haven't seen the show, please give it a watch. It's fantastic. And honestly, like, I know other people are going to be like, how is Steven Universe not number one? How is She-Ra not number one? Keep on the Age of the Wonder Beasts just did this so fantastically, and I still haven't gotten over that moment, and I'm not sure I ever will. So it just seems like such an amazing way to normalize it, and it was fantastic. Anyways, that was my top 5 favorite moments of LGBT representation in cartoons. If you haven't seen these shows, you should. They're awesome. And they're doing great things for the world and for normalizing LGBT relationships and people. So yeah, this is a really fun video to do. Thank you, Henlo Sab Wilson, I hope I'm saying your name right, for suggesting this. And if you guys have any more suggestions for videos, I would love to hear them, because I am always in need of ideas. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.